when I was young. Deep down, I must have always known that this would be inevitable. To earn my stripes, I have to pay and bare my soul.
Hello, this is Latoya Walker, and this is the African Portal. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Fatima Hussein, and she is from Dubai. Hello, Fatima. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Latoya. How are you? Thank you for
I'm do
inviting.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I would like to say thank you for joining us today. I know this was a last minute deal here, but I really appreciate you for joining us today. Can you start by telling our audience who you are and where you're from?
Okay, so my name is Fatima Hassan. I am originally from Kenya and I am working in Dubai. I work with children. I work as a teacher with children in kindergarten. Also a mindset coach. So I help people create a shift in their lives. I've been working in Dubai for the last 13 years. So
Okay.
my journey coming to Dubai has been quite a long journey. I can say it's been a journey of finding and understanding myself. I started my journey at a very very young age. I started working at the age of 19 because when I finished
Really?
high
Okay.
school, I started working at the age of 19. I finished high school. My dream was to become a nurse, and the moment when I finished high school, my dad retired and he became sick, so nobody was there to take me to school. And I really, really wanted to go to the university and have that dream that I
Right.
wanted. So by the age of 20, I was in Saudi working as a nanny with the aim of taking myself back to college and being a nurse. Unfortunately, I didn't become a nurse. My dream didn't come true, but I became a teacher. I remember being in Saudi, it was so difficult because I come from Africa, it's a different culture, different things. Kids are raised differently, if you come from Africa, we're being smacked to understand what is supposed to be done. In Saudi, things were different. So I remember calling my dad and complaining and saying, Dad, this is it, yani, I don't know how to live this life, the culture is different. And I remember him telling me, this is your life, you've got to make a decision where you want to be.
That's
So
right.
if you want to make it in life, you want to go to college, you can always ask for help, find ways where you can make your life. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, he doesn't understand what I'm going through. But it stuck with me. I was like, okay, if I want to go to college, this is the only thing that I have. It's not that he's refusing to take me to college, but he can't. He's in bed.
Right.
So, like many of us, the best place where we go look for help is Google. So I typed how to work with kids, how to raise kids. And for some miracle, my first mentor, who doesn't even know me, was Super Nanny. So I went,
Okay.
saw Super Nanny, and I'm like, okay, she's interesting. Let me sit and watch what she's doing. So I was sitting and watching Super Nanny at night, and whatever I could learn from Super Nanny, I'll do it during the day.
Right.
And that's how I started working with kids. My interest grew with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to the university. That was my dream, but I taught myself to learn everything that I am right now
Right.
online. So I learned a lot of things online. I became a teacher, and after some time, I said it's time to move on. My dream was for me to grow and start something and do a business for myself. So I said, you know what, Dubai is the best place. Let me go and try. So I came to Dubai. I came to Dubai. If you come from Africa, we have one dream that we're always being told. If you come out of Africa, you're gonna make it. So we come out of there believing like if I go to the US or I go to Dubai, or I'm gonna make it. But then you go 10 years down the road, you're still doing the same thing.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Right.
and you go like, what happened? This is what I was told. So for me, I really wanted to not be employed. As much as I was doing the job I was enjoying, but I wanted to do something. So I tried a lot of things in life, to be honest, a lot of businesses, and everything failed. I failed in every single thing that I was doing. I got married, I got divorced. I have, we are six siblings. So all of them have a family and kids. So you can imagine you're the only one who's going through divorce, failing in all the businesses. Nothing seems like is working for me. They're not having, like their lives are not like they're having much. But when you look at your life and you look at them, you feel like I'm a loser. So I reached that
Mm.
point. I felt, I'm really have bad luck. I don't know
Right.
what I'm doing
Right.
wrong. Um, then I decided to go home for a year. And when I went back, I met with some of my friends, and all of them had businesses back home. They're working and they have families. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, what is really happening to me?
Right. Right.
I went to the doctor. I was not feeling well. I had hormones problem. And when I'm sitting with the doctor, he tells me, you know what? It's not possible. You cannot have kids because you have this and this. So that hit me. And like on top of all of this, I've gone through all of these things, and I'm not gonna have kids. No, as a woman,
Right.
it just hits you. And I'm like, now I have bad luck, but I don't know why is this happening to me. And I remember going home, sitting on the chair and crying so much and telling my mom. And my mom goes like, yeah, Fatma, you really have bad luck. You do a lot of things, and I don't know why you have bad luck. And at first, I was taken back, but what she said next is what really touched me and put me in the journey of transformation and deciding to find out. She went and said, I'm wondering what I did as a parent that is wrong. And the
Yeah.
moment she said those words, I realized with all the pain that I'm going through, I always forget that there are people with me and I'm actually affecting them. And the one person that I was affecting more than anybody was my mom. And that was it. So I said, I'm going to turn my life around. I don't know what is there for me, but I need to find who I am. I think I don't even know who I am right now. I have no
Right.
confidence. I don't have self-worth. I don't even understand why I'm doing what I'm doing in life. The only thing I have is the job, and that was my only security. And if I don't have that, I have nothing. So I got back in the plane. I came back to Dubai, and that was my journey to start going for coaching for my transformation. I really wanted to find out who am I?
Right. Right.
What is this? Why everybody's making it? I'm the only one who's not. And I took the journey of coaching, transformation, and I ended up being a coach, and my life just changed. That's my journey.
Amen.
I mean, thank you.
Amen. I'm so happy to hear that. And we all go through that. We all go through that. And I think the thing about it was the reason why you weren't into what you need, where you needed to be, because you weren't doing what your purpose was. And a lot of time when we're not doing what our purpose is, you will never be successful at it. You have to fall in what your purpose is. So can you tell, because we want to have that, we have that mindset that if we move from another country that we'll be successful. Can you tell anybody that's listening about that statement is kind of, it's not, it's more of your mindset. I don't think it's if you move to US or you move to Dubai. What do you think about that?
See, we live in a world where we are fed to believe things. Most of us
Right.
don't. We don't live our lives. We live what people believe. We hear what.
That's right.
So
Right.
if you're in America, you were told you're defined by your color, or you're defined by the race that you are. If you're in Africa, you are taught we are taught to survive. Like Africa, you have to survive, and it's
Right.
we don't have a lot of opportunities. So if you go outside the where you were living, you're gonna make out your life. But that's a belief, and a lot
Right.
of people
Right.
believe it. But when you come outside, the question is, why am I not changing? It's because you come out with those beliefs of, I'm still not good enough, I'm still not worth it. You still don't even understand who you are. So you don't end up changing to become more than what you wanted. So if you're told, okay, if you build a house, that's the most important thing that you have to do when you start your life. And then you build your house, and that takes you like 10 years to build the house, and you're
Yep.
taking care of your family, so you don't grow as a person, and you keep on asking yourself, why am I not growing? So it's the belief. It's not true, because when you go back, like for example, if you work abroad and you go back home and see there are people who are very successful, and they've done it, and they've done things that you go like, okay, wow, what is happening? This is what I believed would happen. So I think the beliefs that we have, because we live in other people's expectations and what the community wants and what people see, even when you go out, if you don't change those beliefs, and you don't get to understand who you are, and that's what mind shift is. A lot of people, when you talk about mind shift, they go, is like having positive thinking. Mind shift is when you really get to understand yourself and find your inner power, when you get to understand who you really, your essence as a person, what defines you. And when you start understanding that, you start having that power of having ownership of who you are. Nobody can define you. You get
That's
to understand.
right.
You get to understand, to acknowledge who Latoya is, who Fatma is. So that's mind shift. When you start taking those layers of my beliefs, my fears, or the fears of failures, and like for me, I can tell you, I had fear of failure because I failed so much. So the fear of failure was the biggest thing that was holding me back, even to think like, I can't be a speaker, I can't have confidence to speak to people. So when you break those beliefs is when you start seeing, oh, it was not what I was told, and life has a different picture, and there's so many things that define me rather than what people say.
Wow, that's good to hear. That is so good to hear. So okay, let me ask you this. So can you give our audience, if somebody is actually going through this, just tell them what the initiative steps that they need to do to start with, their process and their journey on their purpose?
Yeah, that's I will take myself on as an example, because I think if you want to help people, you have to give them what you've gone through. So for me,
Right,
the first step that I went when I went through my transformation was me learning who's Fatma, breaking
right,
beliefs, finding my values. And a lot of people don't even learn how to find your values. We work, you do things that you don't like because you want to have money. But what are your values? What
right.
are the values that define you, exactly define you who as a person? So when I started learning these things, okay, I have my value. And if I go back, check myself, I know like there's only one thing that I love doing, is making a difference. I wanted to become an ISM teacher. I wanted to work with NGOs. Those are the things that define me, that give me happiness.
Right, right.
And when I was getting angry with myself, saying, I'm sitting in this job for 8, 10 years, and there was
Mhm.
what's on, but I was getting the values that I believe in. And that's what was keeping me there. Rather than the security, my values were there. I'm making a difference with the kids. I'm having a family like the kids. So those values were making me feel comfortable. So when you know your values, you get to understand who you are, because you define yourself. And then you start understanding what are the things that are holding you back. So, like fears, what are my fears? For me, I had to write my fears down and started working one by one. This is my fear of failure, my fear of disappointing people. So, all the fears that you have, break them down and start working with them, and see, break those fears so that you can, because like failure, if you're scared of failure, how can you be where you are if you don't fail?
That's right.
Plannings, that is your
That's
job.
right.
And then in this journey, you have to understand, you can't be who you are without those failures. So I'm looking back and I go like, if I didn't fail, if I didn't go through that divorce, if I didn't hear what my mom said, I would be still holding back to myself saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. But what those things that happened there when I look back is my learnings. What was
That's
I going
right.
through? So you have to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly that happened to you. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
only good. If you don't get the good, the bad, and the ugly, then you can't be there. So embrace
That
those.
that is amazing. That is so amazing. And there may be someone that's listening, that I know you said you went through a divorce. How did you cope? How did you get through that? How long were you married, if you don't mind me asking? Um, how did you cope through that?
See, for me, I got married like 5 years.
Oh,
And
okay.
for me, it was I asked for the divorce myself
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't feel I'm in a relationship that I want. I was not happy. And by that time, I was asking myself, why should I stay in something that I'm not happy? Because I'm from before, even before I started this transforming, I was the kind of person who likes listening to motivational things. So there's a lot of things like happiness and like that was very important to me. And
Right.
and when you're not happy, you cannot give what you want.
Mm-mm.
So,
Oh,
so that kind of I was not happy. I didn't feel someone is making I'm worth being with him. So I decided to walk out of that marriage. People will say if you walk out of it is different. It's not different. As a woman, you keep on going back like why everybody else can sustain their marriage, why can't I? And especially for me, because I had failed for in a lot of things, it was like even in a relationship, I, I'm okay. I failed in business, but what about in relationship? And what am I missing? So I went from that, when you're feeling like I don't, I'm not good enough, and I think that's the place where I went. There's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. But
right.
as time goes, when I started understanding my going through coaching, I understand one thing: I don't have to live according to what people want. I made a decision that made me happy, and I was happy at that time, no matter what I felt. So that was good.
Amen.
And I think a lot of women miss that. They hold on to
Mm-hmm.
they hold into a relationship hoping it's gonna get better. You
And it
hold it
won't.
you want you think if I move out, how am I gonna survive? But I believe everything you do is a decision. It's a decision. If you decide to stay and be bitten, then you've made a decision.
That's right. That's
So
right.
you have to make a choice and live with it.
What was your greatest fear? Like, what was your greatest, what was the most fear that took over you, that when you go to sleep, you think about it, when you wake up, you think, what was that?
Um, my greatest fear for me, I think it's me not knowing, me failing.
Right,
My greatest fear was like, am I going to be a failure for the rest of my life?
right.
What is it? What that was my greatest fear. My greatest fear was like, I'm going to grow old and I don't have anything in life. I'm just a failure who keeps on failing and failing and failing. And I think that for me, that was my greatest fear. I just didn't want to fail. I didn't want to feel like a failure again in life.
So the failure pretty much brings out the greatness when you
So
when you think about it.
exactly.
The
See, what
failure brings out the greatness. Amen. I receive that.
no, failure is everything because it brings all your fears up. You're scared of failure, and then when you look at that failure, you start looking at failure in a bigger picture. So now I'm scared of just failing this, but it holds you back to really take out your potential because when you want to do something, you just have that fear: I'm going to fail. So and that's why when I started this when I started coaching, I understood something. When you take ownership of yourself, you come to understand something. Whatever happens in your life is important. Whether you are beaten, you are abused, or you went through
Right.
you molested, whatever. That incident is really important. Wherever you're coming from, yes, there's a reason you're coming from that place, and you can. It is significant. But the question is, what do I do about it? Because if I don't do anything about it, then I'm not going to change. I'm just going to be that person who go through in those situations that are important. They really happened. They happened to me, but they don't define me. So how do I move beyond that?
Oh wow. I don't know if you remember the song. Do you remember Aaliyah had a song, if you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Like that's basically how life is. If you don't, succeed in what you're doing, and sometimes a lot of people when they fail, they stay on the ground and they don't get back up because it's their fear of failing again. But you won't know unless you try. And if you gotta try it 100 more times, then it's going to happen for you. I don't care what it is, it's gonna happen for you. So you don't know that you really blessed me with what you just said. I needed to hear those encouraging words myself. And I'm sure there's millions of more people that needs to hear that. I really appreciate that. I received that. And let me ask you, how do you deal with like the pressure of life? I know you went through some stuff, you know, recently, and you beat it like a champ. You beat it like a champ. You beat it like a champ. So how do how do you handle pressure in life?
At this point of time, I'll say I have faith.
Amen.
I think the most faith is miracle because, like when I got sick, the one fear that we have is I'm in Dubai, I'm alone, I don't have a family. But I have faith that, you know, whoever is around me is my family. And
Amen.
it's happening right now for something. So because of that faith, I got so much support from people and
Yes.
so much care. And I ended up knowing that when I come out of this bed, I'm going to serve someone to give them hope and care as much as I got, because faith is a very strong. And I think when you lack faith, you lack everything. So faith is a miracle for
Right.
everything. Just have
You have to have faith.
faith.
You have to have faith. Even if a mustard seed of faith is faith, but you have to have faith and you have to trust God. You have to have faith. That's the only, if you don't have anything else, keep your faith. You can
Yeah,
be down to your last dollar. Keep your faith.
when you say trust in God, I have this thing that I believe that everything you do, if you do something, whatever happens in your life, good or bad, if that thing brings you next to God, then that's a blessing. If that thing takes you next to your faith and who you really are, and in your faith in God and your maker, then that's not something that is good for you. So whatever brings your faith next to God, that's a blessing for you, because
Amen.
you become a better person. Your faith is everything. Just have faith that God has a reason for everything.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And I have another question here for you. What does your success, what does success mean to you? How do you define success?
For me, success is whenever I make a difference to someone.
That's right.
I make someone find their way, their inner purpose. That is success for me. If I make someone find a better future, if I make someone understand themselves deeper, for me that is success, because that's one thing that makes me wake up at night to try and just
And
understand how can I help
amen.
to be at that place,
Amen.
let others see what I've seen when I've gone through the transformation. So for me, success is making a difference in someone's life.
Oh, that is so good. That's good. And that is so good. So let me ask you, how's the weather there in Dubai?
Winter now, so it's kind of cool. The heat is not yet there.
Okay. Okay. So and what would you say the greatest lesson of your life was? What would you say that is?
The greatest lesson in my life is me understanding that I am who I am because of my imperfection. I'm not perfect. So my imperfection makes me human. And
Amen.
that's what I've learned in life. Like I'm gonna have challenges. I'm gonna have a lot of things. I've gone through a lot of things, but those imperfections are what are defining me to be who I am today.
That's good. That is so good. And if can you give our audience, if someone needs to, you know, I know you said that you're a coach, if they need to reach you, do you have a website where um the viewers can reach you?
Yeah. So I have a website. It's mindseticon.com. So I actually have a program that I work with women. It's called Creating Women of Influence. The reason I created that program is I believe there's a lot of women like me who are lost, who are looking for
Mm-hmm.
themselves, who want to transcend and find a journey where they want to be. So, saying creating women of influence for me is not just a woman will stand and be powerful, but when a woman finds her real essence and the power to be who she wants to be, that's when a woman becomes influential. So I have a program called Creating Women of Influence, and that's what I'm doing now and working with women to help them find their inner power.
Oh, that's amazing. So is this like a worldwide program or just
Yes, yes.
okay?
I started
Okay.
at the moment, I've just been doing it with women in Dubai, but it's open. I'm going to start having webinars soon where I can invite a lot of women all over the world. I'm working more in inviting women in Africa, as I told you before. I feel like we need to empower women in Africa and
That's right.
in the US, all over the world, women need to feel to find their inner power because that's what defines you in the end of the day.
Mhm. Mhm. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So do you ever go back to your country or when is the last time you've been there?
So since Corona started, it's been 2 years I haven't been home. I wanted to go
Oh,
back.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
what we do is we do on Zoom and we try and as much as you can. You know how many people you can reach on through Zoom and Facebook. And I'm doing the platform Talk to Connect, where
Right.
I invite people to share their stories and inspire others. I believe words are powerful, and people sharing their story always inspire people because there's someone who's sitting there feeling, okay, this is happening to me, but things are happening to everyone. So,
Right. 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 That is amazing. That's amazing. I have one more question for you. So, during your the whole deal with COVID, what did you get out of it? Because I know I heard like me myself, I got so much out of COVID, and I feel like this was kind of like a reset on you know on life to open your eyes to wake up and do to wake up, get closer to God, wake up and do things that you never did. What did you get out of COVID?
I did a lot of introspection. For me, it was awakening to really understand myself and to the next level to really understand what is it that what defines me as Fatma. I learned a
Right.
lot during it, and I went to a lot of learning from mentors to mentors because I wanted to have that experience of learning from other people, and it has been amazing because my life has changed in the essence like changing your community. It's very hard for you to let go of the people that you always feel like
That's right.
I need to have them, but in
Whew.
COVID and people really hold you back, and if you want to grow you need to really find the circle that really understand you and where you want to reach in life. And that's the one thing that I learned in COVID. So I put myself in a community where they will help me grow and can help me do what I want to do to serve others to the next level. So it has been a life changer so much as to really understanding yourself. More than anything is just you get to understand yourself to the next level.
I agree with you on that, like 100%. COVID actually like myself showed me like the people that God removed me from them, and when He removed me, when I tell you my life, it's like my life just started changing for the better. So that is 100%. I agree with you 100% on that. You have to move in a foundation. You have to move in a circle that's going to support you, that's going in the same direction you're going. Because if you hanging around people that ain't got nothing, I'm just being respectful. They don't have nothing going on. They don't have no goals. That's where you gonna stand at. That's where you gonna stand at. That's where you're gonna be at. So I agree with you 100% with that. That is the most important thing that you gonna have to do. I don't care if you've been knowing people for 20 or 30 years, if they ain't going in the same direction that you're going in, it's time to pack up and move. And it ain't no hate, it's still love.
Yes.
But in order to discover who you are, you sometimes got to get away from old friends. You sometimes got to get away from negative family members. You have to get away from who you were to become who you were designed to be on this earth. So I agree with you on that. That happened with me. I started questioning myself, like, is there something wrong with me? And God was telling me, no, it ain't nothing wrong with you. This is not the person that I set you up to be. This is the person that you created yourself to be. And now it's like, whoa, the people that's in my life, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I agree with you on that. COVID did, it was a bittersweet moment. It was a bittersweet moment. So many people did lose their lives, but I feel that for us, like me and you and other women, we got up and we got to work. We got up and we got to work. We didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We didn't drag nobody with us. We didn't try to convince nobody this is what's gonna happen. So I agree with you on that. And I really appreciate so much. I appreciate you so much for just coming on. It was a last minute thing. I respect everything that you're doing. You're my sister. I will be in Dubai this year, so I
Oh
will.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. I'm coming this year. I'm coming this year, so I will most definitely be able
Yes.
to meet up with you and just spend some time with you, just to get face to face. But I really appreciate, if there's anything I can do to help you, I'm willing to do that. And I want you to go ahead and repeat how our audience can get in contact with you, because that's very important. Because there's somebody out there that's listening that needs to talk to you, that may need to talk to me. So just repeat that information, and we, we'll be good.
Okay, so to reach me, I think my email is the easiest way to reach me. So my email is hassantima uh, 1975 at gmail.com. And my WhatsApp, which is 059 plus 971 52 722 4266. And as I said, I have a program called Creating Women of Influence, where we help women find their inner power, shift their mindset. At the same time, we help them have mentors who can help them take their skills and talents that they found, so that they can put them into action and build them. Because I went a journey of where I found myself. I became a coach. I found what I wanted to do, but then I didn't know how to get out there.
Right.
So I was stuck. So when I created this program, I said mind shift is good. Getting that mind shift and understanding what you want and getting to your why and starting doing it is good. But then having someone, a mentor who can help hold you, learn how to get yourself out there is also much better. So I created a program where it has both, where we work on your mind shift and help you find your inner purpose, so that you can create a life that you want and be who you want to be, but at the same time have a mentor who can help you create that life and take action to become who you want.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is so good. That is so good. And hopefully someone that's listening reach out to you. I really I really admire
I
you
see
so
someone
much.
is asking to talk about confidence. Is that so?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Wow, for me, that is, I think I can talk about confidence the whole day, because that's one thing that I suffered most in my life about confidence. For me, confidence was me being able to talk and speak to people and do things. Until when I came to understand confidence is just knowing who you are, it's just believing in who you are. Confidence is seeing yourself, loving yourself, and understanding that you are powerful the way you are, accepting
That's
yourself
right.
with everything. So the moment when I started accepting who I am, the moment when I started understanding what defines me, my confidence grew. The moment I accepted that all these failures that happened to my life, I was that the ones that are making me be who I am right now, they are not holding me back. It's just me learning those lessons and trying to find connecting the dots to where I want to be. My confidence grew. So confidence is a very big a very big a broad less a broad topic. But I for me confidence is just knowing who you are. The moment you just understand who am I, what defines me, what I want in life, what is my why. And when I talk about why, I'm not talking about your passion. You know, a lot of people when you say your why, they go like, oh, that's my passion. I love reading books, and I can read books forever. That's my passion. But when you talk about making a difference, that's my obsession. So that's my why. When you're obsessed with something to the point where you want to go deeper and understand and do it, and it makes you not sleep. I can wake up now at 4 in the morning and do something. That is your why. So when
That
you find,
is.
when you understand yourself, when you really know, love yourself completely, that is confidence for me.
Yes. I actually have a book that's coming out. So when it's I'll let you know when it's all finished. It's actually called Slave on the Throne. So it's good. So I'll most definitely keep you in contact when it's released. So yes, that's amazing. Your whole story, your whole journey. I love how you said that you didn't listen to what your mom said. You didn't if you let me ask you this, because I know sometimes we do look in life and we look in other people's lane when how their life is going. What is your advice to that? Like when you're looking at, you're looking over in other people's lane to see what they're doing and what, because I know you said that when you went back home, there was a lot of people that was succeeding,
Mm.
and you feel like you weren't. So what is your advice to that?
And right now, my advice to that, my advice is going to be like, I can't be Latoya. That's one thing I cannot be, but I can be me. And when I
Right.
am me, then my life is just going to be what I want. It's like when we go to speakers, and a lot of us want to be speakers, and we look at the speakers and we learn from them. But there's one thing that we don't get out of it is like, I learn what he's doing, but I have to do it my way because that's the only way I'll give the impact to the people. And that's the same with life. I can love what you do. It's okay for me to say Latoya is good and learn from you, but I really don't have to be like you because I can't. So I have to be myself, and I have to
That's
take
right.
ownership
That's
of
right.
who's Fatma. So the moment you know who you are and understand your deepest, what really defines you, then you can learn from others and be yourself and be who you want to be.
Oh yeah, you can. I learn from you guys all the time. I just wanted to get that clarified because I know some people that cause a lot of setbacks too when you looking at somebody else's life and you just comparing your life to theirs. You don't actually know what they don't went through. And actually, they have probably already went through the process that you're going through. So you have to go through the process. It's like a washing machine. It goes through a process. It washes, it spins, and everything is a process. So don't ever look at nobody's life and feel like that they don't had it easy, because if you listen to every great person's story, it
Yeah,
was a process. It was a
yeah.
process. So you got to go through the process. It's a process, and some people don't like to go through the process. They just want it, get to the prize, but you have to go through the process. And
It's like a lot of people don't want to go look back at their past. You know, that closet, I'm not going to open it because if I open it, I don't want to see the pain that was there. But if you don't open that closet and really see that process, learn from what that pain was there, then you will not grow to become who you want. So that closet has to be open. And when you open that closet and see the journey, that's the only time you can see you. And you will not compare yourself with everybody else because you understand your journey the way you see it. This is my journey. This is what has brought me here. what has brought me here is not what brought you to this, to be here today. We all came here with different reasons, and your story is totally different from mine. Some people have really deep, painful stories where they've gone through, and some people don't even have a story to share, but they found themselves, they had a good life, but they found they were lost. And that is the story. And that's when I'm telling people, you don't have to go through pain for you to say I have a story. You can be
Right.
a very happy person. You're looking for fulfillment in life and you don't know how to do it. That is your story. And you cannot compare you and me. Everybody has gone their journey. And unless I open that closet, learn from that journey, understand the mistakes, then I can't be me. And I will always be comparing others to myself.
So when you say open that closet, because a lot of people don't been hurt and traumatized by their past so bad, and I'm going to admit to you, there's places that I just don't even like when I'm driving. I live in Dallas. I won't even like go that way because it's just so. It's
I'll tell
just
you something, Latoya. You see, what I've learned for me, there's some things in it, like we've gone through, and sometimes you say, this is not the right place to say it, it's not the time.
right,
But you know, I take myself as an onion, and I've learned something. Every time I peeled one skin and I said, I put this down, there's another one that is there. And if I don't work on this skin and peel it, it's still going to
right.
be there. If I want to move on, I need to peel
Peel
and
it. Right, right,
and
right,
create the new me that I want to see, because it's still going to hold me back. So that closet, you can have to open it. I mean, sometimes at the right time, or with the right person, or with the right help, but it has to be open, because you have to peel that skin and put it down so that you can create a new one and you become who you want. If you hold on to it, then you're not moving on, because it's still going to be there. It's like I'm looking at it, but I don't want. But it's a reality. It happened. It's important. But what do I do to move from it? It's totally your choice. So you have to peel that skin and
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. That's helpful. That actually helping me. That helped me because I'm gonna be honest. It's like a lot of stuff I'm like, oh, I don't wanna, go there. I don't want to remember that, and I block it out. But now since you're saying that, you have to peel it off, and it is what it is.
yeah, it is what
You
it
you,
is.
you don't have to stay stuck on it, but it is what it is. It is what
Because
it is.
if you don't take it out, it's still gonna be there, and some kind of it's gonna define. You know, there's that thing that if I don't, it's like if I don't get something out of the way, it's still gonna be there, and somehow it's still gonna be attached to me. It's like when people say forgiveness is powerful.
Right.
When you forgive people, it's not for them; it's for you.
It's
It's
for
for
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. So when you peel that skin and take it out, it's for you, because you want to create a new you. When it's gone and you've learned from it, it's not just taking it out. It's really learning from it. And when you get the learning and you understand it, then when you put it away, it's gone, and you go like, okay, that's one burden that is gone. And that's what I told you. You have to go step by step, like your fears, your everything that is holding you back. You need to work on it and take it out. And that's
Oh
the
wow.
you work on it, you get to understand yourself to the next level, and your mind shifts. The moment you get to understand, your mind just shifts to another level.
It does. Oh yes, you just blessed me so much today. I needed to hear this myself. Like normally when I bring people on here, it's stuff that I've pretty much, retained already. But just hearing you say this, that it's a blessing to hear, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that is actually going through that. So, and I had forgiven my past, but now that you're saying you still, it's okay to pass by. It's okay. You just gotta. it just takes you back. You just remember where you are now, and
Yeah.
you just that's remember where you are now. The past is the past. You don't have to stay stuck on it, and you move on. And that is so amazing. That is so amazing. That is so amazing. I'm so happy that you discovered what you need to do, because there's so many people that um I think that was Dr. Miles Monroe said that the graveyard is full of the graveyard is the richest place on the earth.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so many people have died, passed away with ideas, with books, with movies. So it's a blessing that that you're trying to reach out to women and just so they can discover who they are. And once you discover who you are, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Powerful, powerful.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
is. It is. So I have another question for you. Like, so how do you normally take your approach on things? Do you try to do everything just one day at a time? Do you just work on different, like, how do you normally like balance out your schedule as far as what you're doing in your life?
I do one thing at a time, and one of the things that I really worked on is creating new habits, different habits that help me create a different perspective in my life. So I learned things, and there's some things that I'll tell you. Like I never was a person who believed in meditation, but somehow I learned the way it helps you, and I put it as a habit. And so I make habits that help me learn how to um, change myself to be better.
Okay.
So, I like doing things one thing at a time, working on one thing that I really feel at this moment it's holding me back. Let me work on this and create habits on it that can help me um, be consistent.
Right.
To be consistent in what you want to be, because you can try at different things, but if you're not consistent, then you're going to be jumping up and down. So
Mm-hmm.
creating goals for everything that you do.
Okay.
Like, so for me, like I say, we have, if you look at your areas of life, you have finance, you have relationship, you have religion, and all of this. So for me, I've put goals for everything. Where, what do I want in my finance and my relation? And I know all of them are connected to actually make my change my life. So I work on all of them, but I work with each of it separately. So if it's in
Okay.
terms of, let's say, if in terms of my faith, I really want to see what is, how can I increase my faith as a being, not just praying. What else can I do that is can make my faith become stronger and connected to my message? What is my relationship with my family, and how can I make it better?
Right.
What the kind of people do I have, and how can I increase the value of the community that I have. So I work with each of it and make a goal for each of it so that I can achieve a balance. With, as human beings, it's not easy to say your life is going to be perfect, but when you have a
That's right.
balance, when the other goes down, you can always work on one and bring back the balance. So what I do is I just want to balance my life to try to have a life that I want.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on, joining us today. We really appreciated you coming on. And you've already gave the audience information on where they can find you. So hopefully someone receives that information and they reach out to you. But I really appreciate you for coming on so much. We're going to wrap it up here. Also, just a reminder, guys, I'm here every Saturday at 8 o'clock. And I do have my book that's coming out, Slave on the Throne. I think it should be releasing in a couple of weeks, so I'll keep everybody in tune. But I thank you so much. God bless my sister, and you have a great day, okay?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone, and I can't wait to read your book. Thank you.
All right. We love having you here. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. every day. Morning, noon, night, and day. You must be compare with memory. You don't see what I see. There's no hypocrisy, so you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me. I'm living the holy life. You will don't forgive me of all my sins, because I want to let you in and purify my soul. Don't wanna be lost no more, so you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me, you can't trouble me, Satan. You can't trouble me. Jesus is in you. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Don't man come to the Father except through me. I Jesus Christ is there all day, every day. There's no other way but one way to repentance.